Okay, welcome to another edition of the Nourie's Niche, where we're going to learn some basic flatland BMX tricks for the new riders and old riders, maybe getting back into the scene, and just want to give you some real basic fundamentals and some foundations to build your trick list on. And I'm having a lot of fun, so hope you guys and gals are enjoying it as much as I am. I get out here, try to do something every day, post something new so that keeps it fresh, keeps it moving, and have lots of options, because that's what freestyle is all about. And especially flatland, I've always loved the ability to come up with new things and to work on different variations, new links, new tricks, all of that. So these are just some real simple tricks, basics that can lead into much more. So today's trick is going to be the front yard. I'm actually not sure who the first person I saw do a front yard, but it's another real basic trick. I think it's pretty fun. And again, I think you could learn this in a few sessions, maybe 3 or 4 sessions with this one. It's pretty basic. And so like I usually do, I'll do 2 or 3 different angles so you can see it, and then I'll try to break it down and give you some tips on how to get into it, out of it, and maybe some of the areas that might be a little challenging or tricky. Okay, so the front yard. I always just like to kind of cruise up, step over my bars, and just jump right onto the front wheel and scuff. That's my way of doing it. I'll do that again. How about if I do it towards the camera this time? So I just hop over and then I hop all at the same time, scuffing like so. And one other variation, just come up, step over, hop, and then scuff. Oh, and I guess I should point out that it is a no-handed version that I do, which you don't necessarily have to do, but that's just kind of, I guess, my muscle memory, because I always just go right into no-handed. I kind of think it makes it look better. Just hop right into it and take your hands off. So to get into this, I'm going to really break it down to the most simple aspects, even when I'm teaching like some of the beginners, young riders that are just starting to learn tricks, is just learn to first just candy bar and just learn to be able to scuff your tire. Foot on the pedal. If you're really having a hard time reaching because your bars or your bike size, you could step on the frame to scuff the tire like so. But hopefully you can do it from the pedal. And then once you're able to do that, try to just imagine the back end coming up by either pushing hard on the front tire to kind of stop it, or I should say both, pushing and lifting up with your arms and kind of the weight on that pedal. So it's kind of like, again, that kind of motion where you're throwing the bars forward like we were doing on the grasshoppers. So your foot's on the tire, picture that foot's on the tire right there, and I'm going to lift this leg off the pedal a little bit, and at the same time kind of push the bars forward. So I'll try to demonstrate that the best I can. Maybe I'll get really close. So you're like that. Try to do that. Just get the tire off the ground for a second. Once you get that down and you can do that relatively easily, the next thing I would say is to jump to the peg with your left foot. So your right foot goes over onto the tire and jump to that peg. Don't even worry about getting the tire up. Just jump to the peg and try to coast it like that. Then there'll be another step after that, but I'm going to show that again. Just jump to the peg like so. Then the third step which I kind of do it all in one motion, but when I think you're learning it, you'll probably want to break it down into different steps. But once you're over there, then you're going to do that same thing where you're going to lift the back tire up by pulling your arms forward and the bars forward and putting pressure on the tire to stop it. And I even sometimes tap the brake. Probably most of the times I tap the brake. But you don't need to use the brake. You could do this without a brake. So we're going to step over, step on the peg, and then we're going to lift up by pushing down on the tire. And here's another real key thing. I'll get nice and close for this. When I put my foot on the peg, I actually push my foot. So I have my foot, first off, let's make sure that we note that the foot is not on the edge. It's actually right up against your fork. So there's a lot more stability and control. Next thing I'm doing is I'm pushing my foot, my toes down a little bit, and then back up a little bit, my bar up against my knee. So even try that. Try to like stand there wherever your leg ends up, depending on how long your leg is, but if it's under here, but mine goes right to where my brake lever is, and I'm leaning basically my bar against my leg and pushing my foot down like so. And that's how you can kind of lock it in and go no-handed. So that's essential for control and just basically having the trick. Otherwise, if you're just standing there and this leg is, I'm going to show it to you if I don't lock it in. See what happens. I don't think it's going to go well, but let's just see. So if I step over, yeah, I actually can't even do that. I just naturally go there. I naturally go right to stepping over, and my leg just like locks in. Oh, and I just noticed something. When I did that, just to make sure I'm clear, when I actually am doing the trick, it's not up so high. My thigh is not here. It's more pressed onto the back side of the bar right here. So it doesn't have to go all the way up here. It can be there as long as you feel that pressure against your foot and your leg, and it kind of holds that whole front end in place. Okay, so, and then riding out, it's pretty simple. I think for now, just step back onto the frame. So we're gonna go first step over, second step hop, third step let go of your hands, scuff, let it drop, and I just pull my foot back over. I sit down on my seat. So let's do that one more time. The third step, you're up, 1, 2, 3, down, and I just sit down. It's kind of the lazy way to get out, I guess, but it works. So what else can I suggest on that? On this one, like I do many times, I suggest just working on the main part of the trick, how to scuff on that. That's a little tricky on this one. I guess you could just climb into it and get my pedal out of the way. So put your foot over and just try to go right into it. Don't know how beneficial that is in this particular trick. I think just stepping into it and using your foot on the tire to press, maybe tap the brake a little bit. And then the whole idea is you're scuffing. Let's just talk a little bit about the scuffing aspect. When you're scuffing, the foot is generally on the tire the whole time. Like I don't really take my foot off. I don't scuff. I don't kick. I always have my pressure on the tire. I think that helps to keep control. So that's it. The front yard. It's a fun trick. It can lead into much other tricks in and out of that. And I think you could learn that probably 3 or 4 sessions. It's pretty basic. But as always, I like to hear suggestions or comments or any ideas. So hope you're enjoying these, and thanks for watching. And until next time, take care.